Raphael, you were saying that pessimism, the reason, what do you think is like, do you think there's an overtly excited population and influx of positive reinforcement all the time in the world right now?
Yeah, probably. That's not exactly how I phrased it, but I do mean that if you're gone with your life with too high expectations, chances of getting disappointed are really, really high. But if you go with absolutely no expectations, or if you lower your expectation a lot, then the room to be surprised is actually, you have room to be surprised, you know. You can get surprised and you can get positively, I lost my
So let's just put this in common.
Pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's like getting a gift box, right? You don't know what's in it unless you open it. And when you open it, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, but if you think, it's going to be a puppy and $1 million,
yeah,
and
because you got
stuff,
a square box.
You're like, oh,
yeah,
and you open it and it's nothing. You know, it's a cake.
You know, because
it's a donut.
it's a square box, and you think it's.
Well, I thought there'd be some free AirPods in that I found under your chairs.
So you see, too high expectations.
Oh, no.
Too high expectations.
Oh no, I failed everyone.
Oh my god, this
lost
was
the
meant
podcast.
to be. This was meant to be.
But if you were like, oh shit, it's going to explode to my face, and you open it and nothing happened, you would be pleasantly surprised.
Nice. I'm going to go open doors thinking that all the time. Anyone going to stab me? Yeah.
And you would feel good all the time. So
I think you're onto something there, because in my opinion, just me, I'm just going to say this one quick thing. I feel like there's a lot of, if you go online, the amount of self-help guys, the gurus, the amount of guys who are just like, you know, so good at painting this image of, you know, if you fill your cup over, let it overflow with positivity. I mean, that's fucking ludicrous, man. How do you do that? I mean, do you get it in the store? Like, is there a positive energy 500 or something you can buy that you can pop every day? No, shut your mouth. Don't fucking go around telling lies to people. You can't you have to understand that nature has positive and negative, right? It's about how you treat the way you see things. Like you said, if you go with a steady, this is currently what I'm going through. I have another business I'm in, and I'm constantly in this battle in my head, constantly looking at it like, will this work? Will this not work? Oh, I really want this meeting to work today. And I work myself up for it. And then I go there, and then the meeting is half-assed. And then I go home feeling empty. And I was like, oh, why? I did not go expecting, I should go there expecting nothing. Just the fact that I'm going for a meeting should be good enough for me, because it could become something. But trying to have ownership of your feelings and your alignment towards that situation without knowing the outcome is false prophecy. They're just, you know, prophesizing this constantly. So I agree with what you say.
It's exactly what you said, and I don't think, once again, it's not like marriage. I mean, it is like marriage. There is no recipe. That's what works for me. You know, it kind of takes root in like stoicism, I guess. You have to go on with your life expecting nothing, and you can always be pleasantly surprised. You know, because it's like, think about it. If you fall from the table, I mean, nothing will happen to you. But if you fall from like the roof of the library, well, you will fall hard and it will hurt. So,
is it part French culture?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a cultural thing.
Because I mean, you know Michel Houellebecq, the writer.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like he's a phenomenon over there, and I can't think of a more pessimistic writer. The guy loves it when things go wrong, and he thinks everything's going to go wrong. Seems when you're reading his books.
I mean, there's, I don't know if it's a French thing. I don't think there is. You have to find a balance. Of course, if you go on thinking that everything is going to go wrong.
Then you're naturally aligning yourself for failure at all points.
Yeah, in some way, yeah.
You're also wrong. You're definitely wrong from
positive. Yeah, definitely wrong thinking that everything's going to go wrong, right?
Not everything goes wrong, you know. But if you try to, it's like color it's like color grading. You kind of have to find don't go overboard, but on both ends, right? You have to try to keep it centered in the middle, not trying to expect too much. Basically, compress. Yeah, you have to compress your emotion spectrums. I feel about a lot of analogy with music, like compressions and stuff like that. You have to compress, I think, your emotional spectrum. Basically, you have to be an antidepressant without being on them if you can, because then when you're surprised, then it's like pure bliss, kind of, right? But when you're and when you're sad, it's like I was going to say it's like pure like gloom and sadness, but at least you don't fall from the roof, if that makes any sense.
Sure, I get it. It's a tough topic
Yeah,
that you're going
yeah.
for. Yeah, I think ego plays a huge part in people's sadness. Ego, yeah.
Oh, okay.
People like that comes from expectations. I think there's just like it's like protagonist syndrome or something. People walk around expecting to matter more to other people than they do. You know? And so whenever like today we got our film into a film festival and I was like, oh, I forgot.
Damn, it was
Cheers, man, yeah.
super awesome, dude.
Take one from you, Zon. Cheers.
But yeah, sorry.
That was my first ever, like, my debut
Yeah.
short film.
But like I forgot I sent it out. And like I didn't hope for it, you know?
Exactly, and you got really surprised because you shared it on so many things. You sent me a message and you shared it on so many things. But if you were expecting it and it would never come, then you would like be quite sad. And if you were expecting it so much that it came, like you would be like, I knew it already. So
Yeah, that's a tough one as well, though, because I go through cycles of it. Of course, as I'm sure all of us do, even though we have this idealized attitude of how we should think about things, you know, we have tired days, bad days. Like, when I first got a story published, after years of writing, I thought there was something fundamentally wrong with my writing that nobody was ever going to tell me, and I was never going to get published. Then this guy was like, oh, we love this story, like, can we have the rights to it and everything? And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I called my sister in tears. I was like, somebody's going to publish a story of mine. And then later that year, I was like, all right, where's the next fucking publication? Publish me more then, if you're going to do it, you know? And then I was like, oh, that's not working, you know? But it's, you can't control it, right? It's just being a human.
You can control. You have absolutely no control.
Just to share experiences.
You have some control, I guess, but not all.
Share experiences.
Yeah.
I shot a massive music video with a lot of money involved in it. So what if you shot a music video with a lot of money involved in it? It didn't go anywhere. You just spent the money and you lost the money. That's about it. So that's my experience, right? So I expected it to go everywhere, and I put the work behind it. You know what I'm saying? I worked day in and day out trying to get that song out there. The only problem was that anywhere you went, there was nothing. The product in itself was half-assed. It wasn't a fully set product. And also, I was in a business which I did not study properly. So I was a musician, right? I was not in the music business. So when this thing happened, I had to become a part of the music business and study it. So I became obsessed with it. But my obsession just kept raising my expectations, right? Because I'm putting the work in it, it has to deliver. But who says that you have control over the outcome? There's no control. You can't control the outcome. You could work on it. Like Einstein said, insanity is described as doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the exact same outcome. It's never going to happen. So there's no such thing like that. So I spent the better half of fucking 6 years, man, trying to push this product when I knew within me that the product wasn't good enough. So unless the product is that good and you don't have that belief in it, well, then how do you expect others to believe in it?
Yeah, exactly.
You see, when you don't believe it 100%, there's something there that's just like, oh no.
Oh, that confidence comes with experience. Yeah. It's tough to start out knowing you've done anything good.
Yeah, so it's always you
Same as growing as a person.
Going in and out. So I started to become pessimistic. And I started to hate the industry. And I was just like, yeah, you know what, fuck it. But to be very honest with you, the industry is quite shit. If you listen to the music that's coming out these days, like I don't even understand a word these fucking rappers are saying. I don't get anything they're saying, and it's always more and more skin. Like how much more? Have you seen any of this? Any of the videos that Madonna's been posting? Jesus Christ! At one point, I used to really respect that lady. Now she just fucking scares the shit out of me. She looks creepy as all hell, and she looks 25. So insane how much. Yeah, you see, the industry's become more like that. Yeah. So I am pessimistic. In to a point, but I also know there's a large population of people who really like good music.
Yeah.
And they're waiting, and they will hear you out when the time is right. But this journey has taught me that you can't do the same thing expecting the same outcomes. Yeah. So keep doing different things to see how you can make it better.
Yeah.
Right? And also I think when you to just add on to your point, because I'm a worldly person, I believe, because of my time that I spend on social media, and I watch and I see things in my spare time. It's always, I'm so tired of watching spiritual talk or spiritual TikTok. Some people have something nice to say, where they tell you to ground yourself, believe in yourself a lot more. There's some people who are really good, but most of the information is just recycled. You know, it's taken from him. Like he said something, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it to another group, and I'm going to spit exactly what he said, or maybe color it a little more, put it out there. And there's a lot of that shit going on. And self-help, and I think self-help is driving people insane.
Yeah.
To a point where they're not really saying the entire thing because of the attention span limitations now. They say a bunch of things, and then some people follow it like, okay. So basically what I gotta do is write my dreams down, write what I want, fold it, keep it under my pillow, sleep on it, wake up in the morning, read it out loud 7 times, look in the mirror and tell myself 7 times that I'm strong, I'm great, and then as soon as I close the book, I cry like a fucking child because I have problems, right?
You know, I think that I've always thought that as a person, you have to come up with your own personal philosophy for how to get through life, and then just keep adding to that, altering it, changing it. And I definitely think that as an adult, a big step up is pessimism for sure. But what you're saying about people looking for solutions to others is they're not being authentic enough to ask themselves what they think.
What is the problem there?
Yeah.
Ask yourself first before you...
And I think we should trust people to be the experts on themselves, and I think people should trust them more, that their own life experience has taught them enough for them to navigate life. Yeah. And that was a problem for me when I used to read these books. Like I say, it was soon after my dad passed away that I picked up this book by Thomas Ligotti called The Conspiracy Against the Human Race. And the conspiracy against the human race, as he believes it, is that we are given consciousness. It's such a curse that nobody should ever have it. They should not have children, and we should all just silently let this
disappear.
Yeah, this is an evolutionary mistake.
Yeah, decay,
and we should just end it. Yeah,
go away.
And while I was grieving, that was like the worst thing to read, because I don't need any more evidence from anyone that life is not worth living right now, because it really doesn't feel like it is, you know. But what's my point? Is that yes? So it was damaging for me, especially in a vulnerable state, to read a book like that and just download somebody else's thoughts into my head as if they were gospel, right?
Yeah.
Compared to going, well, I'm gonna look at my own experience and the people I know and the things I think and the experiences I've had, and ask myself whether or not I think life is worth living. And if I decide it is, then it is. It's my life. If I decide it's worth living, then I'm going to live it. Whether or not some guy thinks you can X plus Y equals everyone should go fucking kill themselves, you know? But I think, authenticity is what people are probably lacking. And like we talked about, peer pressure damaging people, finding unique solutions to your own life and trusting them. It's a very tough thing to do. It's tough for me to do even now.
I would think that a lot more of it is known statistically that some parts of the world have a lot more depression than the other parts of the world, right? And clearly Europe has a lot of it. It's on a rise. I care for these people, even though I don't know them. I see a person in walking past, and if they have happiness in them, and if there's this natural radiance, I'm just like, please live. Let's just be happy, right? This is what I want to see. Yeah. But the only problem is that it's not that easy with so much information. Like, we live in the age of information. There's so much. I'm telling you, like, if I don't want to watch, I don't want to go on my fucking TikTok and Instagram. It's just like, I didn't ask for self. What the hell is this? There's like a feed of like a bunch of fucking idiots talking about basically selling product, but they have the face of a self-help guru. They have the music to match it too. And I was like, you gotta be shit. You were selling. And then they make, I'm not even going to say what they sell, but they sell a bunch of shit. So basically it's a front for business, right? But they cover it up and they package it in such a way that it's sold as wisdom. And this is what you need to follow.
Yeah. Final thoughts on pessimism?
Final thoughts on pessimism?
Yeah.
Why, you guys go first because
Be a pessimist.
But try to find a right balance, because you were talking about self-help gurus and stuff like that. There's a kind of self-help that is kind of toxic, and I think it's like the extreme self-help where people want to convince you that everything is way better than it actually is. And but that is not really self-help, but people want to convince you of the opposite, that everything sucks, everything is shit. You will get depression if you follow like both people. Yeah,
true. Good point.
Because life is not all good, life is not all bad. But if you find you're in between, and if you're comfortable with it, then I guess you will be like more in charge of your emotions, kind of.
Very good point. Yeah, very wise indeed. Yeah.
That's words of wisdom right there.
I think that based on what both of you said, I think, and what's helped me is find intrinsic motivation to do things for the fact that you like them, and enjoy what you're doing in the moment, and try and let that be enough. Because I think people are always asking me, "Oh, you've got a film club. What are your goals? Do you want to go to Hollywood? Do you want to direct 100 million? I can't even think about I don't know.
Tomorrow.
I want to do I'm gonna get divorced. Yeah. Yeah.
What is your 5-year plan? I was like, you shut up, man. I haven't even taken off yet.
I don't even have my 5-minute plan.
Yeah. It's like as soon as the baby is born, like before the baby's even reached, like 2 months, you're asking like, so what's good? Where are we going from here? I was like, so I'm a baby, dude. Like, take care of me.
Baby doctor or baby lawyer?
What do you want to be, a baby engineer?
Yeah.
City planning, that's what you're going to be. I was like, yo, what?
Yeah. Do things for the fact that you like them, that you find joy in them. You don't need to explain it too much to other people. You don't need their confirmation. You don't need their validation. You don't need too much advice from other people on how to be a person. You're the best authority on yourself. Have a laugh. Cheers.
Yeah. I see you going. Words of wisdom right there, man. And to say, for my final words, I would always just say, if there's any, at times of doubt, at times of fear, at times where anxiety seems to take over because you're so overwhelmed with expectations, or when your expectations don't really match up and come through, go look at yourself in the mirror and breathe, and just remember that you're here. And just start loving yourself a little bit first. That's about it. Just love yourself, and then it'll start to show. And I'm not trying to be I'm not selling you any product, and I don't want to be your fucking self-help guru. I'm not a therapist. But if you want to talk about things and get to express yourself, I think you should look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself how you feel about you. And I think if you start there, well, then maybe, lesser expectations. Try to get rid of that energy, right? Try to get rid of that energy. So look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself the truth. And tell yourself the truth. Not the fabricated truth. Not the ones that you want. No, that's fine. No, you don't say that. That's fine. That doesn't work. Tell yourself exactly how you feel and what you want to do. And put the work in it. Don't sit expecting things to show up at your doorstep. If you want to be a better person, you've got to put the work behind it. You don't get carrots and groceries delivered to your house. At least in Norway it doesn't. Foodora does it now, apparently.
They do it, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just.
You have to pay though.
If you have to pay though. So if you want, as simple as this. You put a seed. Put a seed in.
Well, you got to download the app.
You download the fucking app, dude.
And use our promo code.
Use our promo code, man. It's called Jävla. Yeah, it's like Jävla kul. So I think that's it. Look at yourself in the mirror and
Make a change.
make a change and take
Ask the man in the mirror.
ask the man in the mirror. What's up with you, man? What's good with you? And I think you should look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself harsh truths. And I think that will help you grow. It's just like this: you plant a seed, and you can't expect it to just sprout till you water it and make sure that it's got what it requires, right temperature, light. You need all of these things. So break that down into your life. What do you need to be who you want to be? How can you start living a life without I think expectations are what a lot of people, it causes depression. I think there's a surplus of it. There's too much expectation.
Way
now.
of having expectations, I guess.
And some people who say I don't have expectations in life, I'm like, yeah, right. Yes.
You kind of.
That's like saying that Jean-Claude Van Damme does not do kung fu. Like that's a lie.
Ridiculous, yeah.
He does. So everybody has expectations. It's just have to bite down on it and really understand what it is. So on that note, we don't have a code, do we? Unless you guys created a promo code. Hey man, I don't want to fucking promote Foodora on this show.
But there is
Unless
that
they
new.
pay-
It's not Foodora Volt. There's that new one in town.
Dandero.
Dandero, yeah. So we might get a promo code
Nice.
with it.